like mine. If you're helping promote our music, please stop. Because we want to earn from what we create. We invest money, you get. So I'm speaking on behalf of musicians.
So the radio producer will tell you, the presenter will tell you, this thing you're bringing is actually a disadvantage for the artist. Because when we play their song, we are marketing them. So if you tell us to pay you PRS for playing their song, you're doing the artist a disadvantage. So it's a question that comes up in all, platforms, at least those that I have been to, which discuss this issue of copyright.
All right, once again, we again at the Kings and Queens Talk Show. This time around, it ain't your boy. It's your man, Kev Kelly. All right, we in the building. We having our special guests once again. Yeah, on my right side, I got a special guest. On my left side, I got a special guest for you. All right, right about now, I want to introduce my guest in the house. Yeah. No, I need to introduce you, Buka.
It's not like I'm a guest here. This is home. I've been here before.
Yeah, it's home. All right, I'm going to drop the mic to you.
And I keep coming back. It feels great to have me, man.
Yeah, I'm really grateful having you in the house. Though we forgot the Vuvuzela, but next time around.
I gave up on that.
No, I've been trying to move through the procedures, requesting for that Vuvuzela, but the next time I'm gonna bring it along with me.
I tried to step off the podcast thinking though, buy the Vuvuzela and feed me with what I needed, but nothing has happened. But regardless, we're back here.
All right. Introduce yourself. Let's go.
Yeah, well, everyone watching the Kings and Queens podcast, my name is Bukachimi. I am a recording and a performing artist, and I'm also into the business of music distribution and publishing. Digital music distribution and publishing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So in the building, this time around, I'm going to speak in a calm voice because I got a special man in the building. Yeah, he dressed up in the suit. My man. Should I call you a console? I got a console in the house, by the way. So this time around, just know this topic is going to be way interesting. All right. Let me pass the mic to you. Can you introduce yourself? You're a king, by the way. You're a king.
Sure.
On this show, you're a king. And beside you, you're actually presenting the king kind of vibe. The fact that you're in the car, bro, you look fresh.
It's suited up.
Really suited up.
That's great to know. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to share this platform with you guys.
We're really happy to see you too.
Rubbing shoulders with celebrities is such an honor.
Booker in the house.
You're a celebrity, man.
Yes. So I'm really, really humbled. My name is Daniel Nasasira.
Wow.
I am a lawyer. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Uganda and employed by the Uganda Registration Services Bureau.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's really nice. Could you take me to one of your tailors and get me a suit because I need to dress up for such kind of conversation. The conversation is coming up right now. I'm going to need a suit. Oh.
Sure, next time.
You really look nice.
Thank you.
Can you tell me how your week went this week? How was it for you?
The week has been quite a very, very busy week. A couple of events here and there. An event around copyright, discussing with artists about what copyright is. Mm-hmm. We are currently amending the copyright law.
Nice.
So we are working together with the Uganda Law Reform Commission to see that we provide, that the law stipulates for provisions that not only protect an artist, because it's not just important that you register your works and are protected.
Wait, Council, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Council, Council,
I'm going
to go.
Okay. But my week has been okay. So we have moved around the country. We're in Gulu, we're in Mbale, we are moving to Mbarara, discussing the copyright law. We are trying to make amendments. And yeah, so that's how my week has been.
Cancer. I want. You know, you've talked about you're the right person on this show right now because we was about to talk about the copyright law. And even before we introduced the topic, cancer, about that we
Who was about to misinform people about the copyright law until we had cancel on the show
Cancel.
or the podcast.
Cancer. Some of us here are we are artists, yeah. Yeah, we started, but we didn't go dive deep into the books the way the cancers do. You know, I know cancers for reading a lot. Do you read?
Hey, Kev, and before you proceed, we want to put a disclaimer.
Uh-huh.
Whatever we are discussing here is not about the musicians only.
Oh, sure.
It's about the entire creative
That's
sector.
important.
Yes,
Mhm.
people
Very
should know it's
important
not
reminder.
just about the musicians.
Yes.
It's about content creators. It's about the creatives, anyone with the intellectual property. That's what we are discussing
Writers,
today.
authors,
Mhm.
poets.
Yeah. Guys, you realize that we having fire in the building. The fact that I have a musician on my right side and I got a concert on my left side. So there ain't no one
And a
being.
law student in the middle hosting the show.
Boca, don't say what I call us students.
Oh, why? Gamu kubo.
Akugo, akusho. Boca. All right. Council, let me drive it straight to you. Yeah. When someone says copyright, I hear this word streaming everywhere. Copyright. And you know, our dear viewers, we would really want to know what copyright actually means. What's the meaning of copyright? What's a copyright?
Copyright simply means the rights that an artist, that a creative gets after they create work. So when an artist sits down and writes a song, the lyrics can be protected. That is copyright. They are creations of the mind. You invent, when you sit down and write lyrics, your mind is creating an innovation.
All right.
So that is what we call intellectual property. So you have rights in what you have created. When you sit down and write a book, when you write a song, when you write a poem, you are creating work. You are equivalent to somebody who sits somewhere and, makes a machine. Because you are innovating, you are creating something that hasn't existed before. So you have rights which we call copyrights in your work. Those rights can be economic rights and they can also be moral rights.
Okay.
Economic rights are rights that entitle you to make money out of your work. So when you make a song, make lyrics, and the song is a hit, you can make money off your work. When you write a very good book and we buy it, and those are economic rights. Then we have what we call moral rights. These are rights that accrue to you by virtue of your authorship of your work. So when I sit down and write an original piece of work, I have a right for that work to be attributed to me as the writer.
Okay.
So those basically, briefly, that's what I can say copyright is.
So, Council, actually, Booker,
Yeah.
the thing about copyright, yeah? No, let me drive it back to the council.
Yes, please.
Council, you talked about when you write lyrics and film a song, that's why the copyright comes in from, yeah, for that specific person. I thought a song was more of, you know how a song is comprised of the producer, yeah, the person makes the beat, yeah, then we have the artist at the same time. I thought copyright was supposed to be owned by the producer and the lyric writer at the same time, since they're all having work fixed together. Is it only for the musician only?
That's a very good question. Now, the person that has written the work has copyright in what he has written. But we have someone who will sit behind the machine and, make beats for the song. So the producer has what we call neighboring rights. So neighboring rights are those rights that are...
Wait.
Yes, please.
Council, let me stop you right there. Neighboring rights. Neighboring rights. Is it more like a neighbor?
Actually, the best
They
question would be,
neighbor.
the best question is, what is the difference between a
copyright
and
and a
neighboring
neighbor right.
I will take it from what actually there is a new perspective that you've given me now that you ask your question.
Mhm.
Why are we calling them neighboring rights?
Neighboring
rights.
I
Yeah.
want to break it down for our viewers such that they really understand.
Yeah, sure.
So the creator of the work is the copyright owner, but the songwriter or whoever, the person that has sung the song, there is copyright in the lyrics.
Mhm.
There is copyright in the production of the song.
Okay.
There is there can be copyright in the stage performance. So copyright can really be diverse. But we have what we call neighboring rights. These are rights that neighbor, just to use your word, to borrow your word, that neighbor the copyright. So if someone has written lyrics and I sit behind the computer and draft beats, I have not, my mind has not created that work, the beats.
Yeah.
That is not my creation. It is the creation of this producer who has sat in his studio and come up with beats for the song and, all those other additives that they put in the song. That is not my work. So that person also has rights which in law we call neighboring rights. I hope it is clear.
Booker.
Yes.
Okay, by the way, the last time on our last episodes, we were talking about copyright, yeah? Mr. Booker Chimmy was telling us about how he was charged for copyright.
Yes.
Yeah, I've messed up with someone's work before, man.
Uh-huh.
And I got shot in the head. So
Was it because you didn't know the law?
not really. My intention wasn't for commercial use.
Mm-hmm.
But practically it wasn't fair use. So they were okay to shoot me in the head. I mean, I was guilty because it wasn't fair use. Neither my intention, even because, I mean, my intention wasn't for commercial use, but also infringing on their copyright and their works wasn't fair use. So I was guilty as charged.
Okay.
You get? I didn't deny that, man.
Yeah, I know. This time round, are you taking the
I've
right
recorded a hit song, man.
So we have someone who has tested the waters, in other words, before.
I have.
We did.
No, I have.
Actually,
When I created beer after beer and Big Trio had party after party. Of course, they shot me in the head and they're like, man, you infringed on our rights.
Did
And
you
I-
infringe on other people's rights?
Yes, I did. I did. Understanding what copyright is, understanding the neighboring rights and who owns what rights on a song. If it was fair use, or if I had written consent from them, or if I had sought for consent, you get, they wouldn't have shot me in the head. But then I
Perfect.
did what I did, infringed on their copyright, and when they came after me, I understood I was in the wrong. That's why I didn't even take time to fire back. Yeah.
Wait, counsel.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no conversation.
Ni kanso yalina tunyonyola ennyo
Kubanga
kubanga olaba bino ebintu bye bitukanya ffenna and the sad bit of it is nti kizze nnyo mu bayimbi, like it's we the musicians who are complaining so much.
Yeah.
So in simple terms, what is the difference between, like in simple terms, just one paragraph, between copyright and neighboring rights? I know you've explained it, but just in simple terms.
In simple terms, copyright is the right that accrues to the author of the song, of the book, of the poem. Neighboring rights are the rights that accrue to the person that makes an addition to the copyright work.
To the copyright work.
What additions are we talking about? I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. There is a song, but that song must be produced by somebody. So that producer also has rights in his production. Because when I write a song, beer after beer, and I sing, there is someone who is putting the beats and who is,
Even the instrumentalists who come and play live instruments.
So they have rights in their work as well. Yes.
And now also picking up from there, as we proceed, what are the procedures of registering my work? or
Wait,
copywriting my
before
work.
we go to the procedure of registering the work, he talks about consent. Yeah. Council, why don't you tell me how copyright benefits the author, yeah, the owner of the copyright, yeah, apart from protecting his work. Is there anything else a copyright helps out?
Yes. And Booker's story is a very good story. It's a good case study.
It is. Now, when he talks about consent, I'm kind of wondering whether, apart from using the track, yeah, there's a time I heard a story, a rumor how Eminem had to sue a certain political party because they played his songs on their event. Yeah. Is that where copyright applies? Do you have to ask consent to the artist before you play his songs at a certain event?
Yes, those are some of the advantages. Those are some of the benefits of registering copyright. You need to get my consent before you use my works. But how do you prove that this is Eminem's song, that this is Booker's song? That's where now copyright comes in, because copyright gives you ownership on over the works. So it's one thing to say these are my lyrics or this is my song, but it is another thing to prove that that song belongs to you. Yeah. So the evidence that shows that this is my work, because we can literally all sit down and write something similar, okay? But, or definitely you could even write and I copy and I register, I protect my work. So when I protect, I have the evidence that shows that this work belongs to me. So one of the benefits of registering copyright is you get ownership over your works. You see? And Booker's story, why I'm saying Booker's story is a very good example of why registering is not good, is because it really shows us that you can put energy in something, produce and, release videos, and someone tells you, take it down because it does not belong to you. It is my work. I have copyright in it. So the second benefit, apart from, claiming ownership over the works, the second benefit is that you can protect your works from dilution. You can have your songs that someone, people keep doing remakes of the same song. And by the end of the day, people have even since forgotten that.
Yeah, that's the original.
It is okay for someone to do that, but they need consent. They need your consent. We have very big songs like I Will Always Love You, which was originally done by Dolly Parton, but we all know I'll Always Love You from Whitney Houston because she made it a big hit.
Yeah.
But she needed to get consent from the original author, and if you read up on the history of that song, you will see that money was exchanged before Whitney Houston could go ahead and do a remake of that song.
Now, this is what I'm trying to get a right understanding. Yeah. Does copyright only apply on between the artists themselves, or it also applies to everybody? Let's say in the entertainment industry. Let me talk about music specifically.
Yes, please.
The copyrights. Do they apply between the artists, or it goes way into the public? Let's say I've given you an example of Eminem. Yeah?
Yes, please.
Do I have to ask consent from an artist before I play his track? Do I have to ask Bouquet for his consent before I play his tracks on my event?
So
I'll throw in something. When I create a song, I have over 6 copyrights on that song. So one of the copyright is the public use.
Wait, when you throw a song, you have 6 copyrights.
I have 6 copyrights on a song.
Tell me a copyright is broken down into different parts.
6, I think it's all copyright. But as I said in the beginning, copyright is diverse. You have, as long as someone creates something novel, new, it could be the same piece of work, but on that same piece of work, we have somebody
different rights
who has written the song.
Different rights.
Probably we have someone else someone writes, Silva Chagulanyi, for example, writes the song.
Yeah.
Juliana Kanyomozi sings the song. and which producer, and a producer produces the song. So there are different layers of copyright.
Yeah.
As long as you prove that this is original, I am the one who has, this is novel, I have generated this piece of work.
Yeah.
Yes, you can have copyright in it.
All right, you were still saying the
Yeah.
6 copyrights?
Yes. So one of the rights, yeah, it is the right to broadcast. I can choose who and where and when to broadcast my works.
Oh, okay.
You get? So I have the right to broadcast, the right to derive, the right for public use. You get? I'm forgetting the rest. But then I have 6 rights on one song. So I choose, if I say no politician should use my work, then I'm stopping them, from broadcasting my work or for public use. You get? And then I have to work with my collecting society, which is UPRS, to enforce that.
That's where the other question comes in. Now, remember, we are trying to explain this kind of thing. Now, I need you to tell me what URPS is in full. Yeah, some people just don't know these things.
So UPRS is a
and maybe
collecting society.
Uganda Rights. Yeah, Uganda Rights. What's it?
Uganda Performing Rights
Uganda
Society.
Performing Rights Society.
Yes. It is a collecting society. What it does is what BMI does on a global scale. It's what ASCAP does. It collects royalties from public performances. That is when they play my music in taxis, when they play my music in hotels, when TV or radio plays my music. It is supposed to pay UPRS, and UPRS has to collect that money on behalf of me.
Is this the
I'll give you another example.
Is this why you run to get the copyright?
Man, let me tell you, we were brainwashed, and we are just learning these things.
I'm telling you,
if you pay me to perform,
if
if you set up a show here at Bantu or at the Kings and Queens podcast, you should also pay UPRS for me to perform my songs here. So you have to pay me my performance fee, and you have to pay UPRS for me to perform my songs here.
That's correct.
Wait, okay. That takes me back to my high school. But back in the days, yeah, I used to love a certain guy. He was called Price Dever. Yeah, he used to sing that song. There's that specific song that was on trend those days. Side Zeno, yeah. So I loved the song so bad that I crammed the whole lyrics. Now I started performing this song in school, and people started knowing me by Side Zeno at school. Yeah. Now, was I doing the right thing, or I had to first ask consent from Price Dever?
You had to first take consent.
From Price Dever.
But then the first question is, were you using it for commercial use?
Commercial use? You know, high school, y'all. We're trying to look for the fame and the popularity in school.
That was really okay. That's really okay. You are not infringing on his rights, or you are not using it for for commercial use.
But on top of that, don't you think copyright in a way kind of affects the artist? Yeah. In that I'm trying to market your song. Yeah, I'm trying to market your song. So the fact that you created the song, and I'm performing it in different places. I'm trying to let the whole world know all about your work. Yeah. Now, if you charge me for copyright, don't you think you bring down your market?
I'll paint a picture for you. There's a guy called the Kenyan Ruga, who goes in schools, public places, and performs Ruga's songs. Because the guy looks like Ruga, he keeps telling people I'm the Kenyan Ruga. Yeah. So Ruga is on an interview on BBC Extra, and they ask him, there's a guy who's gaining popularity from performing your songs. Aren't you going to bring him down? He was like, no. He's chasing his bread. He's performing my songs. He's introducing my music to a group of people that don't know my music. So literally, everyone is winning. Everyone is getting bread here.
Yeah.
The problem was, if that guy chooses to start recording songs in the name of Ruga, then that is a problem. Ruga said that would be a problem. But now he performs his music, which is really okay. Because the same people that he introduces the music to go stream Ruga's music. So it's like, it's a win-win situation.
Well, he is giving me a clear understanding. Now that brings me back to his question that he was bringing in, Council. Council, can you tell me how what does it take for one to own a copyright? What procedures do you pass through to get a copyright? Who do you run to? How do you do it? Where do you do it?
Okay, I will start by answering the question that you had asked before. And this is a question that comes up whenever we are talking about copyright. So the radio producer will tell you, the presenter will tell you, this thing you're bringing is actually a disadvantage for the artist, because when we play their song, we are marketing them. So if you tell us to pay you PRS for playing their song, you're doing the artist a disadvantage. So it's a question that comes up in all platforms, at least those that I have been to, which discuss this issue of copyright.
Council.
Yes.
I'll look in the camera and speak on behalf of the artists that have a similar understanding like mine. If you're helping promote our music, please stop. Because we want to earn from what we create. We invest money, you get. So I'm speaking on behalf of musicians with a similar understanding. We need to streamline things. You get.
Yeah.
If you play our music, you need to pay.
You are talking about the media platforms? Or
yes, the media guys who say they're doing us...
The promoters.
The media person, even you who are singing the song in school somewhere, and you are saying...
That's where I come back and say...
I am promoting his song, I'm helping him promote. But at least you've heard it from the artist.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Let me ask you a question.
I'm trying to get you fans.
Let me ask you a question. A simple question. What is Jay-Z's net worth?
I'm not sure. I can't tell his net worth.
Estimate.
Okay,
estimate Chris Brown's net worth. Okay, estimate Wizkid's net worth. Do you know why that guy owns a private jet? Bro, because he's in an industry that is streamlined. That's why he makes money as an artist, and that's why he invests that money well. You get. If this industry is not making money for us, the creatives, then it's going to remain a broke industry. And guess who's winning? The owner of that media house. And we, the creatives, are starving.
Do you want to tell me that all these people get their cash from charging people for copyright?
Tell me Wizkid has another job.
I can't tell because...
No, tell me. You could tell me he's easy. You could tell me he's into the hospitality business. I mean, if I asked anyone who's Wizkid, they would tell me he's an artist. He's a musician.
Yeah, but these boys be having like side hustles or something.
Whatever it is, I'll describe Wizkid as an artist. He's not into the hospitality business. He doesn't own bonds of cars. He's a musician, period. Davido is a musician. These guys are making huge chunks of money. We all know Burna Boy's story. He was broke before. Whatever is earned it in music. You know why? Because the industry is streamlined. They have the copyright law running. You get.
Run me through the streamlining.
I mean, we need infrastructures. That is one. We need the copyright law running. That is two. We need to change our mindset as the creatives and the stakeholders in the business. If we see media guys, people owning the medias saying we can't pay musicians or we can't pay creatives because we are giving them a platform of showcasing their work, that is very wrong. You're milking the industry and there's no money coming back to the industry. You're doing injustice to our creatings. You get. We need to get these things up and running. And guess what? If we go to the government and negotiate reduction on taxes on CDs, flash discs, we are attracting money into the industry. Because if I create my music, I'm going to put it on a flash disc or on a CD. So if that flash disc has huge chunk of tax on it, then guess what? We're losing out.
A lot.
You get. So, I mean, if these guys are playing my music to their audiences and they're not paying UPRS my money to use my works, I'm losing out on revenue. Do I need the numbers? Do I need their platforms? Yes, I do. But I still need to get paid because I invest. You get?
Yeah.
So we either talk about these things or forever keep our peace. But we need to talk about these things.
Yes, sir.
It has to become a normal conversation and a daily conversation and a household conversation.
Let me go back to the explaining the procedures.
The procedures.
Run me
How do you
through.
register copyright? The organization that government has established to register copyright in Uganda is Uganda Registration Services Bureau. And I speak confidently about it because I work with the organization. We register copyright, we register neighboring rights, we register generally intellectual property, trademarks, patents, industrial designs. But I will zero down to the procedures that one can take to have their copyright registered. Number one, the works that you're registering must be original. Okay? And they must have an element. You must reduce them to tangible form. So if it is a song that you have written, we probably have it on a CD or on a flash disk.
Wait, with the project too?
It has to be tangible.
It has
It has
to be tangible.
a tangible project. Like
A
the one
tangible
that's in the
project has to
studio.
be
If it
either
is
a
a
demo
book-
or written lyrics.
A book, we need the physical copy of the published book. You know, so it must be original, but also it must be tangible.
Yeah.
Yes. And once we have a copy of your works, you will fill in a form. And currently, the fees for registering copyright is just 50,000 shillings.
Are you
Only
for real?
50,000 Uganda
Only-
shillings.
Okay, have they charged you 50,000 shillings?
Yes.
I still have a few challenges and the questions. I'll make sure you answer those questions now.
Please do ask. I will answer the questions.
Okay,
So once you have filled in our form and given us a physical copy of your work, we will send you to the national paper, which is the Uganda Gazette. So that work has to be published such that the public can see. If someone else is saying, this man wants to copyright my work, he has written a song, but I have already probably registered this work, or so they will raise an opposition with us. They file an official opposition. We can listen to the parties. We have experts that listens to such disputes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have heard of the current famous case that I know of currently is the Mr. Gashumba is claiming ownership of a slogan that is supposed to bring back our current president, and there were other people also claiming ownership of that same slogan. Then we have had cases of Cafe Javas and Java House.
Yeah.
We have I'm talking about these cases because they are in the public realm and the rulings have been written about these cases.
I also almost brought mine, party after party, because it was Pastor Sempa who said, "Abana ennaku zino babeeramu party after party after party."
No, let them be after beer.
Ne bankuba copyright naye nga ate bali yakijjawa Pastor Sempa
Wa
naye.
Pastor Sempa. So that shows you that it is really key for you to publish your works, because there could be someone else out there who says that work belongs to them.
Yeah.
So after you have published, within 60 days, if we don't get anybody coming up to say this is my work, the registrar in URSP
Or
will...
the Gazette is in the newspapers?
Yeah, it is the Uganda Gazette. It's the national paper.
Okay.
If no one comes up to oppose after 60 days, then the registrar of copyright will issue you with a certificate proving that that work belongs to you. Briefly, that is the procedure of registering copyright in Uganda.
Oh, wow. Is that
So
something?
I'll throw in a quick one.
Yes, sir.
I have my song.
Mm.
I go register it
Mm.
as my copyright and I have a certificate. What's the weight attached?
The weight attached to it is that it gives you ownership. It is proof. It's like sitting for senior 4 and you don't go back to pick your UCE
So can I use that certificate
The
for
first step.
transactions?
Yes, that certificate currently can be used to, you can use intellectual property now to access credit from a financial institution, from a bank. There are songs that we know today if you moved with it somewhere to sell it, and I'm sure you've heard of cases of Kasiu Kiran, the famous artist here, which can sell billions of shillings.
I also know what Nigerians are doing right now. I was blessed to work with Mr. Easy through Empower Africa as one of the Ugandans that was selected to be supported by Empower Africa, which is one of the leading independent labels, music labels in Africa. When I speak about labels, he's also into signing artists and also distributing and publishing artists. Yes, Mr. Easy. It's called Empower Africa. And then recently during the lockdown, he went and carried out a few meetings with the banks discussing how they can have royalty equity. So royalties is the money we make off the music online. And then whatever they were discussing was if Booker is making $100 or $10,000 off a song, then the bank can give me a loan of $20,000. And then they could charge from my royalties in terms of payment. You get, so they see my numbers online, they see the money I make, and then they double it. But then the form of payment is they get from the royalties I still make online. So there's no stress of like me digging into my pocket to pay. But you get, there's a form of payment going on still from my works. I think that's something we should also introduce in Uganda, really. A royalty equity thing.
What do you have to say about this council?
All I know is that in Uganda, if you are the best way that I would advise any artist to take is to register with a collective management organization, which is what you call a CMO. We have CMOs for musicians. We have CMOs for people for the movie industry. The famous ones that I can speak about right now is the UPRS, which is for musicians. When you register with them, they are mandated to collect royalties on your behalf. So as an artist, it is difficult for you to run around in bars and everywhere. Your song is being played all around Uganda. It's being played in Gulu, it's being played in Mbale, it's being played in Mbarara. So what UPRS does is it has the structures that are well equipped.
Council.
Yes.
Does UPRS really have the structures?
UPRS is mandated.
But does it have
It's one thing to, the structures are there because we have an administration. We currently, and URSB oversees the functions of UPRS. I know that there have been squibbles here and there, but currently we are building from the ground. I know what Buka is talking about.
Council,
another reason why he is actually
really.
Hold that thought. For a fact, I am subscribed to UPRS.
That's very good.
But I don't receive any newsletters about what's going on or anything. Not even my credit balance or anything.
That is true.
You guys come, we're having a meeting or something.
Yes.
So where's the portal of information?
That is true. We are currently grappling with a few challenges here and there. But one thing I can say, Boka,
for an establishment that has existed,
you need to start from
so
somewhere to get somewhere. So for me, I would say that we need to work with what we have. What we have is UPRS. So how do we work with it? Because this thing is for us. It's for musicians. So if we come and say it does not have structures, it is not really able to do this work, this is good constructive feedback. But as artists, what can we do to make UPRS work for us?
I kind of have a feeling that we keep dodging serious foundations for this industry. You get, we keep brushing off issues. One, we can't monopolize the industry. That's one. If a person is failing, then we should really think of a possible solution. You get, not have broken faith year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Because if I have been subscribed to UPRS for so many years and it's failing me as an artist, then there is a problem.
In the structure.
You get, so you either scrap it off and just keep the company UPRS and build from ground up, or you keep brushing on the problem. Because I know UPRS and URSB haven't started working together this year. No,
we are.
The relationship was
together.
built a few years ago. You get?
Incidentally, Booker, UPRS is an organization that is overseen by URSB as a regulator.
Exactly.
The way you see how Bank of Uganda works with all these different types of banks.
Because you know what?
Yes.
And you know why
Wait,
I'm going.
Booker.
Do you know why I'm going hard on this one? Is because there is a lot of floating revenue that we are losing on as a government and as artists and as UPRS. You get? They are either not collecting a certain revenue or collecting it and misusing it, and we are all losing.
So what has Booker, as a very famous artist in Uganda, done about that?
I registered with BMI because my country hasn't supported me.
Well,
so I'll use a global entity.
You registered with?
BMI and ASCAP. It still does the same thing UPRS does.
What has Booker done about UPRS? Have you raised this with
That's
the
why I'm asking the right
UPRS?
person.
And this
the
goes to all
questions.
artists that are watching. What if you're registered with UPRS? What have you done about
No, out of
the
respect,
situation?
I am subscribed to UPRS.
Yes.
I'm subscribed to UMA. You get? In respect of me being a Ugandan and this being establishments of Uganda. You get? But if they don't serve my purpose, then I'll find a solution because I need to make money in the end of the day. You get? So if it's failing me and it's taking time to build from ground up, then we'll look for solutions elsewhere. You get? And me sitting here talking about these issues, I'm doing something because I am putting URSB in check because you're here representing URSB that foresees. I mean, you're not here in the capacity of URSB, but you're here as someone who works with URSB. So technically, you're the right person to speak to.
Exactly.
And technically, you foresee the work of UPRS. So me having this conversation with you is finding solutions.
What you can do about it.
Okay.
And I'm not saying
that's
it in
good.
bad faith. It's just
No, that's good. It's
constructive
good to
feedback.
speak about it. That's one thing, because that's the way to go. Because I've been at platforms where people are just totally giving up on UPRS, which is, I think, a very bad strategy.
No, we ain't giving up on
artists.
UPRS.
So please come back from BMI. Let's talk about UPRS, and it's good we have platforms like this.
Cancel.
And I love to sit
Cancel.
on such
The
platforms
reason-
because
cancel.
there
Cancel.
are avenues, because I know UPRS probably will watch this and they have seen what Booker is saying. So I will probably urge them to pick up a phone and call their artist, Booker Chimi.
Yeah.
But also what I would like artists to do. If the other day we were in Mbale, and incidentally, this question came from an artist in the workshop. He was saying, you people are talking about this and UPRS and URSB and copyright law. But when you look at us in this room, you people tell us if you know a song of any of the artists that are seated here. And we all woke up. But all these artists that we are looking at, we are registered with UPRS.
Oh,
now,
wow.
incidentally, UPRS does not have authority to promote your song. UPRS collects royalties on your behalf. So if Booker Chimi has sung a very good song but has not promoted it, and it is not being played in all those places where they play songs from, then please, you don't blame UPRS because they have nothing to collect.
Cancel. Can I throw you a
So,
challenge?
just before
Cancel.
Booker comes in, artists that are watching this podcast, please, if you have a song, the role and job of promoting that song is yours. So kindly promote the song. Let's have the song on all these platforms, and let then UPRS do the groundwork for you. You know, lay the bricks, lay the foundation. UPRS will come and do the rest.
Cancel.
Yes, Booker.
The feeling of me knowing that my work or the collecting society that I am subscribed to does its work is a good feeling. Even when I have 0.0 balance on my account.
Yes.
Me getting my transaction report is something very important to me, even when I have 0.0
I
balance.
entirely agree with you.
You get? And also,
Communication is key.
this is how I make money online. I might have a song with $1. I might have another one with $5. I might have another one with $10. In total, that is like $16 or $17. You get? So I won't say this song is not making money for me. If it's making peanut, then there's a song that is making a huge chunk. So, but when I add that total, it makes sense. It makes financial sense. You get. But even when I am not making money, give me that report of how much I am making,
No,
or
I
the
agree
zeros
with
I am
that.
making.
It's important for them to communicate that
You get.
in
And
a
also-
period of 6 months, we have
And
not
also,
collected.
reason why I'm
That is
subscribed to
important.
UPRS is because I still have faith in UPRS. But I'm not going to sit down and lose out on revenue because UPRS is not performing. I'll assign someone else to collect my revenue while UPRS yes or tinga. You get?
Okay.
Because I'm a businessman, I stopped being just a musician. I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm into the music business. So we need to understand these things. And I also don't blame fellow musicians who fire you questions and leave the spaces you're into without understanding anything, because you're not going to come with a volume of knowledge or you a toddler. You need to break it down for them in their own understanding. You need to simplify because, I mean, you graduated.
Yes.
You a practitioner. Nojja kungamba ebintu bye wasomera emyaka gyonna. To understand it in just hours or days of the workshop. And then you're having keywords that also have chunk of books to understand. Because if I spoke about music publishing, those are whole books to study. If I talk about composition, just composition, or the rights to a composition, that's a whole chunk of books to read. And then you want me to understand that in one day.
Ted. All right, Booker, sir, I want you to hold the thought there. I want you to, this question goes to you, since you're the artist. Now, I believe you signed into a record label, yeah? Or a certain company, certain music company. Now, you are a copyright owner. When you go to that company to sign a contract, yeah, do you give this copyrights to the company since they're the ones going to manage you, or you remain with the copyright? Who takes that copyright?
I mean, it depends on the understanding we have on the table. Personally, I wouldn't advise any musician to sell rights to their works, because it's something that you can leave for your next of kin to inherit. You get, because I mean, for a song or anything created, I mean, when you die, it's 70 years, 50 or 70, I don't know. But according to the US copyright law, it's 70 years. You get, so if I died today, my copyright would still remain under my custody or the next of kin for 70 years. That's under the US, the California law. You get. If I'm to sign up with, let's say, Kings and Queens podcast, I would negotiate to retain rights, copyright ownership to my works. But then I would still give them financial benefits from my works.
Okay.
You get. So I can choose to give you the rights to distribute my music on a certain percentage, division of a percentage, but then still own the copyright to my music. So then I have the right to tell you, you know what, stop.
Because we had a different scenarios where we have an artist complaining, let's say a certain given company or it's like a certain record label has taken down their work, or has closed their channels and all that. Is it part of the copyright?
That is very understandable. You see, you come to we hungry musicians who can't afford counsel. What you do is give us papers to sign, but don't give us a chance to read those papers. You explain those papers to us. And as a businessman, if I gave you a contract, I'll tell you all the nice things in the contract. I won't tell you about that phrase that, that sells my soul to the devil.
Yeah.
You get. So you'll tell me the nice things, or I'll tell you the nice things and then make you sign the document. In the end, I want to step out, but then the contract is holding me custody.
You know, Council, we have one problem. I think this comes from way back. Yeah. You know how the white man says, if you want to hide something from a black, then put it in books. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen.
Don't do that.
I've seen.
That is cheeky. Don't do that.
No.
Before even ask the question, let me tell you one thing.
No, Booker.
We can't afford legal fees. Booker. It's not that we can't read. Trust me, even if you gave me that contract to read it, I wouldn't understand it.
Unless we can have someone explain it.
Unless I have counsel to read that contract for me and explain it to me.
But then, unless, don't you think the artist should take the initiative to read through the contract? Because what if they're signing you into something
You're trying to
else?
tell me that instead of investing time to learn more about my craft, I should also take time and understand something that I can hire someone to do. Why do I have to divide myself? You see, the industry,
You know,
as
you
an
can
artist,
never trust one's heart apart from you.
are you a creative, my brother? Are you a creative?
Yeah, yeah.
You need your mind in one place to create because it's the mind that creates. You get?
But then at a certain point, I need to watch out for my back. I can't just allow
Hire
give
counsel.
everything to someone to.
This guy has studied the law for
Unless
so
they
many
need to take
years.
some time to read through, understand, or maybe the counsel explain everything for me. But I've seen artists in different
Legal
occasions
language is totally different
give
from
them a contract.
the
and they
dictionary
gonna-
English.
They're going to sign even before they flip 2 pages of
Because
contract.
you tell us nice things, bro. I got to a point to study certain things because I've been cheated for a long time with these contracts. You get? And I've left my catalog with some certain people because of these contracts.
Mhm.
That's when I was like, okay, now I need a team to work with. And what team do I need? I need the legal personnel to help me understand these contracts. These contracts are written in English, but
Yeah.
it's not layman's English. You will understand the sentences if you read them, but you won't be in context
Yeah, sure.
with the contract. Because there are certain phrases that you will read and don't even understand. They might make sense to you, but legally they won't make sense when it comes to the law. That's why we need him to explain the contract to us and be like, you know what? Out of my expertise, this is not good for you. This is good for you. You need to rediscuss this. You work with a certain company. Sorry, I don't want to mention it and I don't want to drag you into this.
Yeah.
How many people that have signed your contracts have come back to you to say, you know what? This phrase doesn't work for me. You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that.
But Cancer, is how do you bring where does the problem lie? Is it with the artists, them not hiring the person who's going to read the contract, yeah? Or the company not explaining the contract?
I think Booker has explained both sides. There are artists who deliberately don't want to read. So as long as they send,
Many.
as long as I have money, I
No,
don't need to
as
know
long as
what
you
is
tell
in
them
the
you're going to
contract.
compensate the facilitation, the clothes
Yes,
and
but
everything.
as he has said, he has faced repercussions of that.
Yeah.
And it's good he has explained his experience here. So my takeaway would be, if you can't read, then hire somebody who can read and explain what is in the contract for you before you sign. Repercussions. Number one is you will sign a contract which has a clause that probably is not favorable for you.
It will fire back at you.
Yes.
Sell your soul
But
to the
my
devil.
experience is
You
that
actually said it right.
usually contracts are just meant to ensure that, the record label that you are being signed into has some level of, and artists.
It's a legal
we know-
binding.
Yes. Everyone, I mean, in any place, serious place where you're going to work, you will sign a contract. Because, and for the creatives, it's
'Cause
even
eh,
very crucial. It's
in-
more crucial
In that
because
same
of the nature
contract,
of their work.
there may be we are going to take your rights and you didn't read it.
Man, me, I
And
never
next
sell.
thing you know, we are having those issues.
I never sell. You see, right now, the only reason I am not subscribed to any record label is because one of the first question I ask is, who owns the rights to whatever we are going to create? Because what you give me is not important. I mean, it's no more valuable than the rights to my music.
Yeah.
You get? Because if I've earned out of my music before as a copyright owner, then I know what it feels like to sell it. You get? Last time we were having a conversation with Papa Misach. I said, I make a lot of money online. And I think it's one of the things I should leave for my kids to inherit. You get? When we lost DMX, Jay-Z and Beyonce bought back rights to his music from the label he was signed to, and he's taking care of his family.
Oh wow.
You get? So
That brings me to my last question, Kanso.
Yes, sir.
What are the benefits
Mm.
of copyright and the disadvantages of the copyrights too? So give me the benefits
And the
and
disadvantages.
its bad side.
yeah, I think a sum up of the
All right.
benefits of the copyright, and also the people that benefit
Benefits.
from the non-existence of the copyright.
Okay. Okay, Kanso, tell us the benefits of the copyright and people that benefit from the non-existence of the copyright and the disadvantages of the copyright too.
The advantages of registering copyright. One, we talked about ownership. It's one thing to have works. It's another thing to own, to have a document that shows you own that work. So when you have a certificate of registration of copyright, it's a document that shows that you own those works. Incidentally, non-registration does not invalidate your right to copyright, but registration gives you an upper hand because you have prima facie evidence that that work belongs to you. The second advantage of registering copyright is that you now get the right to make money off your work, which is what we call economic rights. You can, someone needs to get consent from you to use your work. Probably they will have to pay some money to be able to use that work.
So the artist benefits from it.
Economic rights, yes, you can be able to make money off your work.
Yeah.
Number 3, moral rights. That work can always be, attributed to you as the author of the work. Yeah. So if I've written a book, a song, a poem, registration of copyright gives me the right to claim authorship of the work that I've written. So that's the other advantage. There are so many advantages, but I will restrict us to those 3 because I believe they are the most profound advantages of copyright. 1, ownership. 2, economic rights. And 3, the moral right, the right to be able to say that this is my work. Yes. So who are the people that benefit from the non-existence of copyright? Of course, people can easily play your song and they will not be able to pay you for playing your song. I don't know if that's a benefit.
It's a benefit.
It's a financial benefit for them.
It brings people. Let's say if it's a
financial
bar,
benefit
if it's
for
a
them.
bar, it brings more people to the place.
Yes. So other people will benefit, and you who has burn the midnight candle and slept in a studio somewhere to generate work, you will keep. You have seen artists who say, well, we are making money, but this thing is not making money for us. Why? So that's one of the, if you want to call it a benefit, those other people will benefit from your work if you do not register. The other benefit is someone else will change a few, not even change, copy what you have made, register, sell, promote, and make money. And probably by the time you wake up to claim ownership, it's difficult for you to prove. Somebody already has a case, probably that shows this work does not belong to him, it belongs to me. The last question was, what are the disadvantages? Now,
how is it disadvantages
for that one, I'll even look in the camera.
The artist.
There is a lot for you to benefit when you register your work, and almost 0 for you to lose by not registering your work. When you register your work, you are protecting your work from, number 1, infringement, but also claiming ownership of what you have authored. It simply costs 50,000 shillings to register and protect and say, this belongs to me. Now, for you to say that there is a disadvantage to that, I would say it is like sitting for exams. You get 3 A's in senior 6, and you say, I will not pick my USCE certificate because I believe it is disadvantageous.
Yeah.
Because the USCE certificate is what shows that you got 3 A's. Yeah. The certificate of registration of your copyright is what shows that this song belongs to Booker Chimi. So I don't think there is anything disadvantageous in registering copyright. There is a lot to gain and almost zero to lose. So please, people, register.
Council.
Yes.
Once again, you heard the man. Yeah, you heard the two kings in the house. Now, I don't see where you are gonna have excuses of saying you don't know where to run to, and yet you've seen the man in the building. Next time you're going to their offices, you're going to find him, and he will direct you where to go to sign a copyright. Council, I thank you for your time. Yeah, by the way, I appreciate the knowledge that you've given to us. Yeah. The last time we had Booker in the house, and he was telling me about his story of the copyright, and I had nobody to ask certain questions. Yeah, we were a little bit limited in that area. But I really thank you for being here. And once again, we welcome you again and again to the Kings and Queens Talk Show. Yeah, we are so glad to hear it. Right about now, I want to sum up this show. Yeah, we thank you very much for being in the show. Keep watching, keep viewing. Hey, everybody out there, if you're watching, please give your comments on this channel, because there ain't no way I'm gonna ask my dear beautiful people on the broadcast if you ain't posting those comments, because I get the questions I ask from your comments. So please drop those comments on that section right below, and don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm gonna take this time to book us again at Tanika now. Let me get to my dear Cancer. Cancer, can you please drop your handles to our dear viewers where they can find you? I guess some people have not understood the way I've understood right now, because we're in a one-on-one. I guess they want to ask you some questions so they can find you in your social media handles.
Yes, so URSB has 6 regional offices. You can get us in Mbale, Gulu, Hoima, Mbarara, and Masaka. So if you are watching this from out of Kampala, please, you can visit any of those offices. But we have 2 offices in Kampala. We have an office at Georgian House. We also have an office in Kololo, and we also have an office at Posta Uganda.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so you can call us on our toll-free number if you need further explanation on what copyright is. Please call 0800 100 006. 0800 100 006. It's a toll-free number. There'll be someone to explain this further, such that you understand what the benefits are when you register your copyright. But thank you so much for hosting me. I'm really, really privileged.
No, we're glad to have you on the show.
And I hope you host me again.
Keep coming constant all the time. Okay. All right, on my right side, I'm going to introduce the star. Please drop your handles, I guess, for the ladies, huh? Right there, Council.
I'm Council.
Council, are you single?
Are you single?
Yeah. I have, what is it called? Copywriting that. So you have to pay me to release that very valuable information. I have valuable information.
All right, booking now. We have our artist here. He's single, so he had to drop his handles to the ladies so I can see what's up.
Man, I've been single ever since I started coming on this podcast, and the comment section hasn't been good for me. Council, thank you for that insightful information. I'll ask the producers to make sure they add those details in the description, and also on the video, mostly the numbers, the toll-free number, and the direction, the offices you've mentioned. And also maybe you'll share an email that people can contact URSB on.
Oh, yes.
So that we add it into our description.
Yes.
Well, I remain Booker Chimi, a recording and a performing artist. Those people want to search, who want to inbox me, DM, mostly the ladies. Booker Chimi everywhere on all socials, and my music is everywhere. So make sure you support Ugandan music. Make sure you support the Kings and Queens show. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
All right.
All right.
Listen, it's your boy Kev Kelly once again. You are the Kings and Queens Talk Show. If you want to find me on my handles, you can find me on Instagram, The Kev Kelly. You can find me on Facebook, The Kev Kelly. You can find me on YouTube channel, The Kev Kelly. So, Council, by the way, that shows in Nigeria, I want you to tell me that word that they say in court when the court session has ended. There's that word the judge uses.
After knocking.
Court adjourned. It's because I don't have that thing the judge uses.
Yes.
What's the word?
Adjourned.
Adjourned.
Yes.
So, all our viewers out there, the broadcast is adjourned.
Okay.